So hi everyone, my name is Megan, and today I want to talk to you about the power of mindsets. But before I do that, I want you to think about one of the first times you ever received a really bad grade. And I know that's probably not what you want to think about right now at this time of morning, but just give me a chance. You probably were frustrated and said, well, this doesn't normally happen to me. I've always done so well in school. But maybe it was your first chemistry lab report or maybe a calculus midterm. It was probably the first time you encountered these things, and you were probably thinking, well, maybe the lab report was just really unfair, or maybe I'm just not a math person. That's definitely what I've thought before. But maybe it's these thoughts and the way you're approaching your failure that has made you do so badly in the first place. This is what's known as a fixed mindset. So a lot of teachers and even a lot of students have what is called a fixed mindset. And it's this belief that intelligence is a predetermined, stable trait that we can't really do anything to fix or improve. But in reality, intelligence is so much more. Intelligence is malleable. Our brains are capable of forming new connections amongst neurons and strengthening connections between them just through practice and hard work. So keep this in mind when you think about a growth mindset. And a growth mindset is this belief that success is based on your effort and defined by this effort and ability to grow as a person. Now, with a growth mindset, moving away from a fixed mindset, we can actually improve ourselves and help ourselves deal with failure a lot better. When we look at brain scans of people that actually encounter failure, we can see this difference quite clearly between those with a fixed mindset and those with a growth mindset. So with red being more brain activity and green-blue being less brain activity, we see that those with a fixed mindset have much less brain activity when they encounter failure. And this is because they're avoiding their problems and running away from them rather than thinking about the mistakes that they made. So they don't spend too much time debating whether they should have done something better or what they can improve on. When we compare this with a growth mindset, we see a significantly more amount of brain activity. And this is because people with a growth mindset aren't afraid to accept their failures, and they're not afraid to think about what mistakes that they made in order to improve upon them for the future. So a study was done on a group of 7th graders in a math class that looked at how grades were affected by implementing different mindsets in the classroom. So some students were taught to have a growth mindset, whereas some were taught to have a fixed mindset. And they saw how pre- and post-mindset intervention, so the implementation and teaching of these mindsets, affected their math GPA. So keep in mind that both of these groups of students had the same math GPA to begin with, but over the course of 2 years, we see a significant difference between the two groups. And this is because those with a fixed mindset had a decrease in grades, whereas those with a growth mindset actually showed increasing improvement over time. And this is because they are learning from their mistakes and they're thinking about what they did wrong in order to improve themselves academically in the future. So it's clear that growth mindset can help us improve academically and it gets us thinking more. But you're probably wondering, okay, Megan, I get it, fixed mindset's bad, growth mindset's good. What do I do now? How do I completely restructure my way of thinking in order to improve for the future? Well, it's actually not as hard as it seems. You already are on a head start because you've listened to me talk for a couple minutes, and you know that intelligence is malleable and that we can grow as an individual in our intelligence. So you've already got the theory behind the growth mindset down pat. Now all you have to do is start implementing it into your own lives, and this can be done simply through the language that you use on a daily basis. An example of this is how teachers use language in the classroom. So teachers often praise students based on how well they did on a given task instead of the effort that they actually put into a given task. And this facilitates a fixed mindset because students think, well, if I already did well on a task, why would I need to improve in the future? Whereas those with a growth mindset will want to improve on these things in the future and think about their failures. So a group of students was given a series of puzzle tasks. So a bunch of questions were given to them of varying difficulties that they were asked to complete as much as possible. Some were given praise for their effort after completing these puzzle tasks, whereas others were praised for their intelligence. So effort being growth mindset, intelligence being fixed mindset. And what we see is a decrease in the number of total problems solved by the students with a fixed mindset. So with trial 1, they were given this problem solving and they all accomplished the same problem solving tasks, and then were given the 2 different growth and fixed mindset interventions. then both groups of students encountered a failure. So this task was purposely set up for them to experience failure and see how they dealt with it in the future. And on a second trial, they were given a third series of puzzle tasks, and those with a growth mindset actually tried to accomplish more problems as well as more difficult problems than those with a fixed mindset. So what I want you to keep in mind is, as students, learning is a process, and you're gonna fail sometimes, and it's okay, but you have the potential to grow into so much more. You are capable of so much, and it's okay if you fail sometimes. Failure should be seen not as a setback or a deterrent, but as a stepping stone on your path to success. So what if you did badly on that one chemistry lab report? It's orgo. Or what if you didn't do too well on your calc midterm? It's not the end of the world. You can still be a chemist or a mathematician so long as you put your mind to it, or mindset, that is. Thank you.